fix this right now. That's better. All right, now I can continue. This is my little model of a bridge. My 2-year-old keeps coming in here and dismantling the thing. All right, got a couple updates since last week. One, I fixed my lighting in here a little bit because last week I just had this flashlight thing aiming at me. And it was like blinding me. So today I just am aiming it at a big sheet of paper that's just right there. So it's bouncing off the paper. So it's not so blinding, which is really nice. Oh, let's see, what else is going on? Classic Dude Mike, hello. And Mr. Landfill. Oh, wait, let me see if I can turn Mr. Landfill into a moderator. Oh, Mr. Landfill, I was supposed to make you a moderator, right? Yes, I think I just made you a moderator. Ooh, now you're a standard moderator. Yes, I hope that was right. Hey, Jaimie, how's it going? Let's see. Joe Blow's here. How's it going, man? Roger says, hey, Jaimie, how's it going? It's going pretty good. I'm not wearing a shirt again because it's just hot. So, what was it, like 3 or 4 weeks ago? We went from the dry season to the rainy season. And I don't know who makes up these dry seasons and rainy seasons, but like the whole dry season, or what was supposed to be the dry season, it rained a lot. And then it switched to the rainy season, and it's hardly rained in the last 3 weeks. I know people who are almost out of water because they just have no water. And this was the rainy season, and it's so hot, so hot. You know, like I put a fan on to sleep, and I don't usually put a fan on to sleep or anything. I like it just silent. You know, I want nothing. But yeah, it's been so hot lately. So anyone who's wondering, that's why I'm not wearing a shirt, and I'm not going to apologize. It's just hot. I'm in the tropics, and it's been hot. So anyway, whoever came up with these, now it's the rainy season crap. They're full of bananas. I don't know. Oh, I just got a super good job. Jeff, what job did you get? Oh, working with CNC machines and robots, my ideal job. I start tomato. I think that's supposed to say tomorrow, but tomato sounds great. Well, that's pretty cool. Sounds like it's fun. Let me know how it goes, man. All right, so I didn't really prep anything special I was going to talk about. In fact, about 15 minutes ago, I said, oh crap, it's Sunday. I'm supposed to do like a live in like 15 minutes. And I was like, I don't know what I was going to talk about. And I was like, well, I could think of some stuff or something. But then I realized, nah, I'm just going to give a general update on what's going on this week, because there's been some interesting stuff going on. So, well, my lumber mill is up and running, and I've been using it. I put up a video of doing some cuts, and then yesterday I cut a bunch more wood, and today I cut like I put the big long piece of that tree I cut, the palm tree, in there. So I cut 3 2x4s. Well, they're actually 2x5s. 3 2x5s that are about 10 or 12 feet long. I'm not sure how long they are, but the whole length of that one log. So 10 or 12 feet long. I don't have any here to show you because they're like 10 or 12 feet long, big long pieces of wood. They're just sitting outside. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. And they're coconut tree, palm tree wood. And here, I can show you a smaller piece. So this is a piece from my first test log, which is not that long. It's only like, I don't know, 4 feet long. But let me see if I can get this close enough to the camera so you can see the graining. It's pretty nice, eh? Yeah, it's nice wood. It's also really, really dense. It sinks like a rock. So I dropped a piece in the water and I went to fish it out, and it was just gone. It was just a little scrap piece, so it was fine. I didn't drop any nice pieces like this. So I've been cutting out pieces of wood for my daughter who requested wood for a dollhouse. So I cut her a whole bunch of like pretty thin pieces, like different widths and stuff. This is one of the bigger pieces. And then today I cut some 2x5s, 2" by 5" which is like, I don't know, what's a 5" like 12, 13 centimeters. You can convert it to centimeters in your own brains. Let me just see what else is going on here. Oh, Jeff says the company he's working for builds solar panel mounts. So that's cool. Hi, Seth Bain. And only 45 minutes from my home. Oh gosh, I'm so glad I don't have a commute. But yeah, 45 minutes is not a terrible commute, I guess. Oh God, I so don't miss commuting. I've been pushing a wheelbarrow for miles a lot lately. Thanks for showing me what a human can do. I'm getting those muscles. Nice. That's great. Okay, so wait, should stain it to see how it looks. You kidding? Stain this? It doesn't need to be stained. It's beautiful. Yeah, I've actually never been a big fan of staining wood. Like I'll put something on wood to protect it, but not like, I don't care if it changes the color. I like the way wood looks already. Okay, so the lumber mill has been, so good. It's really, really, really good. And, the solar panels are tilted toward the morning sun. So like between, I don't know, or as maybe 8 o'clock till 2 in the afternoon, I can cut. And then, around like 9 to noon is when I get the most power. I can cut really good, like pretty fast then. I still have to clean off the solar panels. So I still have some more power that I can squeeze out of them for sure. I just haven't done it because I was busy playing with the machine. And today and yesterday were both kind of cloudy. So I was digging. So I spent yesterday and today a lot. I just went up to the top of the hill and started digging, got dirt in my wheelbarrow and, put it where it's going. And then anytime the sun came out, one of my kids would yell, "Sun, sun!" And then I'd drop my shovel, run over to the lumber mill and like do a couple cuts until the next cloud came by. And then I'd go back to digging and just went back and forth. And that was kind of cool because it was, I don't know, it's kind of nice to break up what I'm doing and not just do the same thing all day. Although it will be pretty cool to get like a clear blue sky day and just be able to cut for a few hours and just really do a bunch of good cuts. Although I'm gonna have to get a new log, like a for real log. I mean the palm tree is pretty good. It's just, it's only like that big around. I need to get like a log in that thing, and really cut a lot of wood out of it. That's gonna be fun. I'm not sure how that's happening yet, but I don't know. I'll get there. I'll figure it out. So other things that are going on. I have 2 boats that I'm modifying. The shark slicer and the zombie chopper. The shark slicer being my biggest boat. It's like the cargo boat. It's the one with the tiger stripes on it now. So I think it's actually the tiger shark slicer now. So anyway, I've got that all ready for some batteries that are coming. And once the batteries get here, I can do it up and get it all super slick. And then the other boat is my the zombie chopper is my little white boat, the little trimaran. It's my fastest boat, it's like a 2-seater. It's like one person and a bit of cargo, or 2 people and like no more than groceries. But it's my fastest boat. So I'll take that boat whenever I'm going to town to get groceries. And I have a battery coming for it too, which I'm pretty excited about. And then I have 3 big lithium iron phosphate batteries coming. Should be here in a week, maybe something like that. I mean, I'll find out like the day before it gets here, and then I'll go pick them up as soon as I can after that. But I'm pretty excited about getting those here and getting those 2 boats powerized, batteryized. because, well, it'll be nice. The boat I drive around right now has no batteries in it. So, when it basically works the same way as a lumber mill. When there's a cloud, my motor slows down. So I just pedal more. But it'll be nice to be able to go to town and back with some battery power and just to make it go faster, like make the trips go faster. Can you double the board width by cutting from each side? Yes, I can cut 10-inch wide boards cutting on my lumber mill. Yes, going down one side and then coming back on the other side. And I was doing some cuts from both sides today when I was cutting out 2x4s, because with a log that big, you can't get that many 2x4s. I had to kind of be careful about placing them. I got 3, well, it was actually 2x5s, not 2x4s. I had to place my 2x5s pretty precisely to get them down the middle of the wood, because it also curves a little bit. But so I was cutting on one side and then cutting on the other side. Yeah, totally works great. I've not actually tried maxing out my width and seeing how wide a board I can get, but it should be around like just over 10 inches. But I'd probably just say 10 inches is close enough. Need a log. I do need a log. A log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. Wondering why you went with a circular saw blade and not a band. Aha! I've not answered this question in a while. If anyone here remembers some of my answers previously that I forget about, I like the circular saws because they work in a lot more adverse conditions. Like a bandsaw, when everything is perfect, it's great. But a circular saw, like the bandsaw, you have to keep it sharpened. You have to sharpen it often. And if it gets dull at all, the blade will start walking up and down and making a mess and getting jammed up and stuff. But a circular saw comes with carbide tipped tips. Yeah, carbide tips. So they don't get dull nearly as fast. They last way, way longer. And even if the blade gets dull, it's not like the blade is going to start warping up and down, because it's like a solid disc. So you can get much straighter cuts with it than with the bandsaw. Now you can get pretty straight cuts with the bandsaw too. I'm just under perfect conditions. The other thing is the circular saw blade will cut a smoother cut. Like, I don't know how well you can see this, but like if I planed this, I might be able to get it a tiny bit better than this, but it is really smooth. It's really good. It's really good surface. With a bandsaw blade, it leaves definitely a rougher surface. And then another thing is with the circular saw blade, when I can move the circular saw blade this way or that way, I can cut vertically or horizontally. I can put the log in place, and then I don't have to move the log once it's in place. I can just change the saw blade, and like the log just stays there. With the bandsaw blade, you put the log there, you cut off the top, then you got to rotate it, cut off the side, and you got to rotate it again, cut off the other side, and then maybe rotate it one more time, and then cut off the top, and like basically square the whole thing. And then you can cut it into slabs. But there's a whole bunch of flipping the wood over as you go, which isn't the end of the world. It's just kind of nice when you can just get your log in position, and then once it's there, you don't have to worry about it. You just do the saw blade. Another thing is I can get a 12-inch saw blade at a store. But I can't just go to a local store and get a band for a bandsaw. I'd have to order that specially. Now I did order my blades because they don't have as good blades as I'm using at the store. But in the event that I have a blade breakage or whatever, I could get a blade from the store locally that I could use until I get I order a better one, and it spends a month in transit getting here. So, I mean, those are a bunch of the reasons. I did consider doing like I don't know what these are called, but it would basically, well, it's like a saw like this where it has a bunch of blades and it just goes like up and down, and it can do a whole bunch of cuts at once. And then it takes the log and just slowly inches it, well, not even inches, like shoves it in like a millimeter as it cuts, then goes in another millimeter and cuts again. And that's the kind of saw that you set up and go away for an hour and then come back and your log is just cut into a bunch of boards. Those are kind of cool. I thought about doing that, but yeah, I ended up going with a circular saw blade, and I'm pretty happy with it. Let's see. I'm sure there are some other reasons I didn't think of that I've mentioned before. Bandsaw blades tend to bow and get wonky, classic dude Mike says. Yeah, I mean, if you get it tuned in right, and particularly if you keep the blade sharp, it won't have a problem. But you have to, like, the conditions just have to be really good. And also with bandsaw blades, a lot of people drip like soapy water onto the blade as it's going, so the blade will slide through the wood more easily and doesn't start binding up and getting wonky. And I don't want to use any consumables when I'm cutting. I hate that. Like I really like that I can use my saw right now and I could turn on the switches and it's not consuming any fuel or any oil, lubricants, nothing. It's just I can just turn it on and go, and there's nothing being consumed. It's just cutting the wood. So consumption of anything would be a big downside. Does the green coconut wood show any signs of warping? Not really, actually. I'm kind of impressed. I did cut, so the boards that I cut that would most likely warp were like 5 inches wide by not even a 1/4 inch thick. I cut some pretty thin ones, just to see if I could, see how thin I could reasonably get them and still have a solid piece of wood. Partly because I wanted to test the wood, and partly I wanted to see, that my saw could cut nice thin pieces if I want to. And yeah, maybe they were like 5 millimeters thick, like just under a 1/4 inch. And those have not warped at all. And they're a couple days old. Some of them sat out in the sun for a day, didn't warp at all, which is kind of weird. Like wood generally warps, and this stuff is, well, I mean, let's see. Just ignore that end, the broken end. But yeah, this is pretty darn straight. And I cut it a couple days ago. It's not totally dry yet either, although it is pretty close to dry because the thin piece of wood. I shouldn't say it's close to dry. I don't know. It's dryish. Let's see. Have you thought about that tree log dolly I emailed you about? I don't know that tree log dolly I emailed you about. There's a good chance that if you emailed me something about a tree log dolly, I already had a tree log dolly thing in my head, which I did. So I probably didn't really remember the email because I was just like, oh, okay, I've got that covered. Because, when you get a new piece of information, if it's something you've already got in your head, it's kind of the best thing to do is just to say, okay, I got it. And then, so I don't really remember the email you sent me. I'm sorry. Is it like I'm probably going to build something with wheels that I can put a log on or pull a log up under. I might just make like a U thing. And then I was thinking about having the wheels be ratcheted so they can go forward but not backwards. So it would help getting up hills and stuff like that. Most home sawmills use bands. Cool. Yeah, I've definitely seen more homemade sawmills that use band saws than circular saws. But I did not know the statistics on that. I would add batteries to Sawmill to smooth out the power dips and not have to worry about small clouds. Well, that's great that you would do that. I mean, I might do that, but I also am fine with cutting when I can. So there's this thing in our society that I think is one of the problems that is greatly contributing to the downfall of our society, which is this: people want it now. They want it like right now. And it's like a baby, you know, when they need some milk. I need it now. It's like I feel like when you grow up, when a person grows up, you should get to a point where you're like, okay, circumstances aren't such that me getting something right now is convenient or the best or whatever. So I'll do something else until the circumstances are better, and then I'll do that. Like I feel like as an adult, I should be more flexible. I shouldn't always be trying to make the world do whatever I want whenever I want it. I feel like I should work with the world, and like that's a big thing about the way I live off grid. You know, I wake up with the sun. I don't go to sleep with the sun. I'm usually up for a while after that. But I usually wake up before the sun, actually. And I'm awake the whole time the sun is out. Because the idea that just because I feel like it, I should not be awake during the sun and waste extra energy using lights it just seems like a really arrogant thing to do, you know? So and I don't mean to insult anyone here or anything, but this is just the way I think about it for myself. Like, I want to interact with the world and with nature in such a way that I'm not always trying to make it do what I want when I want it. So if my lumber mill works when there's a blue sky and not when there's a cloud, I'm fine with that. I actually kind of like that, because then I just use that to my advantage. So I'll just like today when I was digging, I went outside and I was digging until there were no clouds, and I did a couple cuts with my lumber mill, and then when the cloud came, went back to digging. It worked out great, you know. And I'm totally comfortable doing that. Another thing is that I'm not doing this for money with like some investors chomping at my ass saying you need to cut this many boards per day to make this many profits and blah, blah, blah. So you need your machine running 18 hours a day or any crap like that. No, I do it when I can and when I feel like it. Like that's, yeah, I'm going to move on to the next question. Bunks and log dogs. I do want to get log dogs. Wait, which ones are log dogs? Are log dogs the ones with the spike and the hook? Or the hook at the bottom. So you stick it in the log, and then it's kind of like a ratcheting the logs, and you have two of them, and you can kind of like roll the log. Is that what log dogs are? I forgot what they're called now. What are bunks? I don't know what bunks are. Boy, it looks like I'm already at the bottom of the comments. Let me just check that I'm not missing any. Oh, no, I did miss okay. Every once in a while, the comments get stuck, and so I have to like click a little reset thing. So yeah, I was not at the end of the comments. Dang, stream quality is great today. Oh, okay. So another thing that happened this week was, you know, last week I said we were having a little internet problem, and so we got a new antenna, not the whole dish part, just the receiver that goes in the dish. So we replaced that, and I got the thing lined up again because it got moved when we were replacing the thing. Anyway, and now the signal is better than it was before. So yeah, I should generally have better internet than I did. Have you ever made batteries? Have I ever made batteries? Not anything that I've like really used, like just playing around kind of stuff, you know, like taking a couple dissimilar metals and putting them in like lemon juice, or, you know, stick them in a potato, you know, like little silly experimenty kind of things. But I've never like poured some lead plates and like put them in some pickle juice or some, you know, whatever. I haven't done anything really good like that. In Hawaii, they make beautiful guitars out of koa palm wood. Quite expensive too. Koa palm wood. I wonder if that's similar at all. Just got here. What did I miss? Okay, Ace of Falls. Watch this from the beginning on 2x speed. Nah, I don't know. You didn't miss anything. Instant gratification drives me nuts. Instant gratification drives me nuts too. Yeah, I don't need to force the world to do what I want all the time. Hi, do you get a lot of dry leaves? I do have some dry leaves. You can shred them with a weed wicker. I think it's supposed to make a whacker to make soils quick. Chickens love them too. I do have lots of dry leaves, and I don't have a weed whacker. However, if I pile up a whole bunch of leaves and grass and stuff like that, it decomposes pretty quick. Like I'm in a warm, humid environment, so things do compost pretty quickly here, which is nice. Particularly because, you know, my soil is like heavy clay, like dense clay. So I'm working on making it better. Yesterday, or was it? Yeah, yesterday, I lit a big dead tree. Well, this was in one of the recent videos where I started doing this. So I have this garden spot that I've broken up the ground, and I want to get some charcoal in there. And I had this dead tree, so I piled up the dead tree on top of it, and I lit it on fire, but it didn't burn up that much. So I ended up hacking it into pieces and kind of packing it more densely so I could light it and get a really good fire going and like burn it all up to the point where it was a lot of charcoal. And when it was burning, I kept covering it with like palm leaves and stuff like that to kind of suffocate it a little so it would make more charcoal. So it ended up making a lot of charcoal and then also some ash. And then I, you know, mixed that into the ground. So that's supposed to make a big difference in like a tropical place where there's a lot of rain, because the charcoal will hold on to nutrients in the soil. This is what I'm told. So I'm mixing a lot of charcoal into my gardens now. Oh, I actually have had some success with that already. So I have a pepper plant. And when I got the pepper plant, it was already pretty tall. I got it from a neighbor. I don't know why he was getting rid of it, or maybe he was just being nice. But anyway, it was a pretty tall pepper plant, like a meter tall or so. And I planted it, and like all the leaves died. And it looked like the whole plant was gonna die. And I was like, oh no, I really want a pepper plant, because I've also been trying to grow them. So I dug up the ground around it and mixed in some charcoal and some like leaves and stuff like that. And I don't know, I did that like maybe a month or two ago. And now there are peppers on the plant, and it's got all these new leaves. So it looks like something worked. So I'm going to keep trying to do that. So yeah, I'm really excited about having a pepper plant that is actually producing peppers. And it's got like it's these little hot, like spicy peppers. So it's got one pepper that's like that long, and then a whole bunch of little ones are just starting. So it looks like the soil is I'm getting some results with the soil, which is great. Question: I want to run a couple power tools directly from solar. How many volts are you planning to run to the plug? The plug on the lumber mill. Okay. Well, I always aim for about 100 volts. So this has something to do with the way I'm setting up the electricity for the lumber mill, and I explained it in the video, but I'll explain it again real quick now. So I have 6 solar panels up above the lumber mill, and they're like 30, like a little over 30 volts each. And if I connect each one in parallel to the lumber mill motor will run on anything between like 24 and 36 volts. It's like a 36-volt motor, but you can run it on 24. So I'm running it on like 30-ish volts. And there's maybe around enough amperage in that many solar panels to run it full speed at 30-ish volts, maybe. Anyway, so I'm running it basically at 30 volts. However, I made all the connections screwable, so I can unscrew a few things and screw a few things together differently, and put 3 of the solar panels in series and then another 3 solar panels in series, and put both of those in parallel. And then I have 100 volts-ish, more or less. And it's 100 volts DC. So it's sort of like a wall socket, you know, because like 100-ish volts. I mean, the wall socket's like a 110, but whatever. It's like around the same voltage. So it's 100 volts, but it's not alternating current. So you have to be careful what you plug into it. It's direct current. So a lot of things won't work, but a lot of things will. And a lot of power tools will run on direct current or alternating current. Also, like anything like a light bulb, doesn't care if it's alternating current or direct current. So I could plug light bulbs in it, which light bulbs is not a good example. It's kind of useless because it's directly off solar power. If I have solar power, I don't need a light bulb, but you know, things like that'll work. Or like a hot plate, like a kitchen, like a single burner stove kind of thing. I can plug that in. Or I could do a double, I guess. However, you have to be careful with the switches, because direct current will make a bigger spark when the switch deactivates than alternating current. And that's because, at least, I mean, this is what my brain tells me. I haven't done any research on this, so this is just what my brain came up with. So when you have alternating current going through your wire, the electricity is going one way and then the other way, and then the other way, and then the other way. And it keeps alternating back and forth really fast, like, what's it, 60 times per second? Direct current, the electricity is just going one direction. It just keeps going and going and going. Now, when you disconnect your electricity, like say this is a switch and it disconnects, it's going to make a spark. Like there's going to be a little bit of lightning between the contacts. And if you have alternating current, the electricity is going to go one way as you disconnect, and it's going to make a spark. But then the electricity is going to momentarily stop and then go the opposite direction, killing the spark. But since you're already moved apart, it's not going to, the electricity is not going to like make a new spark across there. So when you have alternating current and you disconnect your switch, it stops the electricity very quickly without a lot of spark. With direct current though, you disconnect your switch, and if you disconnect it a little bit, electricity will still flow through the air like lightning. And it'll do that until you get your switch disconnected far enough that it can't quite make it across. So you'll end up heating the switch up a lot more with that lightning, that spark as you disconnect it. So one thing you have to make sure is that you disconnect your switch like totally right away. And switches are they're usually spring loaded, so that when you switch them, they jump apart really fast, so it doesn't make a spark and melt them. But DC current will definitely melt your switches much faster than alternating current. For instance, with like a single burner stove, I've found that it melts the switch pretty much right away. So just turn it on high, and your on off is plugging it in, unless you make, another external switch for it. And whenever I make switches for this kind of stuff, I just make like big knife switches out of copper pipe, which, people have seen me make those in videos. And those work great. Just, with the big copper pipe thing, it just has enough material to diffuse the heat. So if you get a bit of a spark, it's not a big deal. You just have to make sure that when you disconnect, you don't disconnect it slowly, because it'll arc and start melting. So whenever I run my lumber mill, whenever I stop, just yank the switches quickly. Hopefully that answered your questions. Yeah. So I guess the answer to your question was 100. That's a can't. Oh, a can't. Okay, what are the log dogs? PV is for rolling. Okay, yeah, PV. That's the thing I'm thinking. So a PV is a thing that, say there's a log here, you jam it into the log, and it has a little hook down here that hooks into the log. So you jam it into the log, and then you go like this and roll the log. And if you have two of them, two PVs, you can like kind of ratchet the log and roll it, like even up hills and stuff. Okay, and a log dog, is that the thing for lifting? I can't remember what any of this stuff is called anymore. I mean, a cant hook. What is a cant hook? I don't remember what a cant hook is now. I mean, if you show me pictures of all these things, I totally know what they are. Anyway, I wonder how a 5,000 BTU would work for you down there. Plus, you can get free water from it too. I think you're talking about an air conditioner or a cooling thing. Right now, I don't have enough electricity to run anything like that. I only have one solar panel on my roof because my house just has like a couple little lights and computers, a walkie-talkie. It doesn't have that much. So I just one solar panel on it. Although I want to put a couple more. I could, of course, run a wire from the lumber mill into here. And then I would have tons of power. I just don't want to charge my batteries that fast. It might melt them. Anyway, I'll probably put a couple more solar panels on the roof. But I've never felt the need for air conditioning, even when it's really hot like this. If there's a fan, it's comfortable. Pipe to water, solar powered sump pump, solar powered fan through a copper coiled pipe. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. Crap. Do you ever get metal slivers stuck in your feet while going barefoot? Yes, I do occasionally, and then I pull them out. Yeah. Although, like when I'm working on metal stuff, I'll wear my silly rubber shoes until I'm done, like drilling or cutting metal, and then I try to sweep it up, and then I can go back to bare feet because I don't know, I like bare feet. Although, occasionally I miss a few metal pieces here and there, and then I'll get one stuck in my foot, and then, I pull it out. Okay, log dogs clamp the log in place while you're cutting. Oh, the log dogs, right. Bunks are for the log to sit on. Oh, right. The run perpendicular to the track the mill runs on. Oh, they run, I think. Yeah, okay. Jeff says, my first girl, when she was hungry as a baby, she would be fine till she was hungry. It was like World War III till she got her bottle. Yeah. What was for dinner tonight? Meatballs and tomato sauce on a nice roll? No. That sounds delicious, though. Tonight, we had homemade ramen. Yeah. And I was thinking, and bread. Sourdough coconut bread with a lot of coconut in it. And I was going to make some more stuff, but I kind of made a lot of this ramen. I don't know. I just made a lot of it. So that was pretty much it. But then I did also have a few peanut butter sandwiches on coconut sourdough bread. And this was not the most exciting dinner evening. You should have asked me like yesterday. Yesterday I had something way more interesting. I don't remember what now. Lots of different things. Hi, Jaimie. Do you fish at all? If so, you should do a video of it. I do fish. My favorite is spear fishing. I caught a pretty good sized fish a couple weeks ago. And then a few days ago, I was testing the spear that I made the other day. And, I was working on like figuring out my aim. And at one point, the rubber band came off. Oh my gosh. Okay. When I was testing my spear, and when I first got in the water, I know this spot where there's some fish. I don't want to tell anyone where it is, but I know a spot where there's some fish. So I went there, and there were some fish. There was like a nice, well, there were a bunch, but there was this one particular red snapper, and I was like, ooh, I want to get that guy. So, you know, I took a few shots at fish and missed, and then I was like, all right, you know what? I need to do some practice. And then I saw this leaf that had fallen into the water, and it was just sitting suspended in the water, you know, very slowly sinking, I guess. So I started shooting at the leaf, and within a few shots, I got my aim worked out where I could spear the leaf. And I was like, okay, now I know how to aim. And then, like right after that, one of the rubber band thingies, not the rubber bands, the surgical tubing, whatever stuff, it popped off the little thingy. So I only had one of the rubber bands, and I wrapped the rubber band around my hand so I could still kind of use it. So I was like, all right, I need to get out of the water and fix this. But until I get back to the boat and hop out of the water, and I'll just use it, you know, with one rubber band. And then I saw that giant red snapper, and I shot him right in the side, but it only had one rubber band of power and just kind of pushed him, annoyed him. No penetration. I was like, oh. So anyway, after that, he obviously avoided me for the rest of the day. But I'm hoping, oh, and I did fix the rubber band, and then I tied a little string to make it so it won't come off again. But anyway, I'm hoping that I can go in to where this spot is, and this fish will still be in the area, and hopefully he's forgotten about me by now, and hopefully I can stab him for real. And I'll try to get some video of it. It's a little bit tricky though, trying to sneak up on fish and operate a camera at the same time. Maybe I'll just keep it around my neck and, you know, see what I can do. The thing is, if I can find a spot where fish are just like chilling, and I can go up to them and just sneak up and get them, that would be easy to do with the camera. But the way the fish are that I've been going after, it's more like I don't know when I'm gonna see them. You know, they're kind of moving in and out of these little caves and stuff. And when I get a shot, it's just like, okay, gotta take the shot right now. I don't have time to like turn on a camera, and I don't want to have a camera on for like half an hour while I'm like swimming around just looking for some fish, you know. But I'll try to get some video. Is the water around the islands salty, brackish, or fresh? It is salty. This is the ocean. Yes, it is ocean water. It's the Caribbean Ocean, which is, you know, the Atlantic. It's just a part of the Atlantic. He just made a spear gun. I did just make a spear gun, yes. Question, have you thought about installing an AC unit? I run one off of 400 watts on low, plus you can get free water too. Did you just, was that you who said that again? You did. You said it twice because you thought I didn't notice. No, I'm just a little bit behind on the comments, which is fine, I think. I think I don't want to get an AC thing. If, like, all I need is a fan right now. It's not that hot. It's like hot enough that I'm hot and I don't want to wear any clothes. But if I turn a fan on, it's totally fine, totally comfortable. So it's not hot like you know, Florida in the summer. Not that bad. Are you going to make the ratcheting wheels from scratch? One of my favorite vids of yours is when you made a wind-up toy from a wire. Oh, I remember doing that. I was thinking about making ratcheting wheels from scratch, yeah. So there's a good chance I will. I mean, I wouldn't say guaranteed, but probably, yeah. Most likely. Yeah, because almost guaranteed, actually, because I'll make them out of stainless steel. Because I don't want to buy something that's going to be overpriced and is going to get salt water on it and just instantly disintegrate like the evil witch of the West or whatever. I think log dogs are for holding the logs on the sawmill log bed. Cant hook is another name for peavy, I guess. I didn't know the peavy word, right. Have you got your batteries yet? No, they should be here in about a week. I'm very excited to get them because I have 2 boats that are like ready to go and just need batteries. With all the charcoal and clay, your pH will be messed up. You should consider getting a pH meter. They are not expensive, like $12. Maybe I should. Yeah, I probably should. My friend said he is getting one, my neighbor. So if he gets one, I could probably convince him to help me with that. But once you start planting more food plants, something to consider, each plant likes to have a different acidity level. You can adjust the soil with lime and sulfur to adjust the acidity levels. Yes. Thumbs up, everyone. Mr. Landfill gives everyone thumbs up. David has a question. Are you at all concerned that your kids may turn into coconuts? Well, with the amount of coconuts they eat, there is a mild concern that yes, they are actually going to turn into coconuts. Although I think peanut butter may beat the coconuts. I don't make peanut butter that often. Well, I mean, occasionally I'll buy it, but I hate buying peanut butter because it has sugar in it. I'm like, what? Why are you putting sugar in peanut butter? What the? Oh, I hate that. Oh, God, like, seriously? So anyway, I grind up my own peanuts in this grinder that I made a few years ago. But anytime I make peanut butter, oh, it goes so fast. Like I'll make like a huge thing of peanut butter too. So I made one last week. It wasn't even a week ago, and it's half gone already, and it was a lot. Yeah, these kids are peanut butter pigs. How do you do laundry? Ah, okay. Oh, wait, no, I'm not there yet. Hold on. One more question. Yay, I'm not late. How are the projects going, Jaimie? Oh, I've been answering how they're going. Yeah, I talked about that at the beginning. You should rewind. I'm sure I'll continue talking about it, though. But the projects in general are going great. I'm awaiting 3 big batteries for 2 boats. And the lumber mill, I've been playing with it and doing some cuts. And, you know, here's something I cut on my lumber mill, which came out quite nice. And I cut a bunch of 2x4s today and stuff. Anyway, okay. How do I do laundry? Well, it depends on which clothes you're talking about, or if it's a blanket or like a sheet or something like that. But the thing I wash most is just my everyday working clothes. And this is how my day basically goes. I get up, I put some clothes on, or I'll usually go outside and get some clothes off the drying rack, or I might have them on already. Anyway, I'll put on some clean clothes, right? And then I'll go out, do some digging, some building stuff, and you know, I get sweaty and dirty, and by the end of the day, I'm a mess. And then I'll go jump in the ocean and swim around with my clothes on. And then when I get out of the ocean, I'll go to my shower and I'll take my clothes off while I'm in the shower and put them on the floor. And then as I'm showering, I stomp around on my clothes and, you know, they get soaked and wet and stomped on a bunch, and then I consider them clean. And I pick them up when I'm done my shower, squeeze them out, hang them up, and then they're good to go. And then I get the ones from the previous day that are usually dry, and I put those on or bring them in or whatever. So yeah, most of the time I go swimming in the ocean and then I just wash them when I'm in the shower. But if it's like, you know, it's like the sheet on my bed, I'll take it out. Well, my favorite way to wash stuff like that is to do it when it's raining. So if I have something I need to wash, like a sheet or a few sheets, or you know, just some stuff like a load of laundry that I need to wash. If it's raining hard, there's this big stream of water that comes off the front of my house, because there's a gutter all the way around the top of my house, and this is a pretty big house, so there's a lot of water up there. About a third of the water that comes off my roof goes toward my water tank, and then the rest of the roof, it just kind of goes to the front of the house where there's a spout, and there's this big water squirt out of the top of the front of my house. And I have a bunch of buckets below that, and they fill up. And then, I can use the bucket water for concrete or rinsing stuff out or whatever, So if it's actively raining, there's this big water stream coming down. So I'll dump out one of the buckets, make sure it's clean, throw my laundry in that, dump a bit of soap, and put it right where the water is. And that waterfall just like churns everything and runs through, and the bucket will be overflowing. And I figure that's got to be pretty clean by the time that thing's done. So that's my favorite way to do laundry, other than just going swimming with my clothes and then washing them in the shower. First time comment. Good evening, Jaimie. Well, good evening, Darkwing. Oh, it's Darkwing Duck. I'm a merman pop. Who's Keith? And why are you a merman pop? I don't know what that means. Are you a merman? I would watch half an hour of you wandering around looking for some fish. Well, the problem is, if I get a camera and I'm like wandering around for half an hour looking for fish, a lot of it might be in spots where there's not that much visibility. I mean, not that there'd be really short visibility, but there might just be nothing to see. I'll just be in some water and there's nothing there. So I think it would get kind of boring. Sorry for the double comment. I tried to retract it. It's okay, Ken. I'm just giving you crap. You're totally fine. I've never been moderate at anything. Bus dweller. Do you live in a bus? You must live in a bus. Ken has a question. With a coconut, do you find you have the runs? I've heard coconut can produce a laxative effect. I do not find that I have the runs. I've heard that as well, although you have to drink someone told me if you drink like something like 10 coconuts worth of coconut water, then you'll get the runs. And I just don't have that many coconuts, And with my kids, when my kids are here, I'm lucky to get any coconut water because they are like, "Ooh, I want it." And then, I always get some, but they always want it too. Yeah, I don't get the runs from coconuts, but I do like to run, not the way you're talking about. Ooh, looks like I'm at the bottom of comments here. Let's see, just reset. Yeah, I'm actually at the bottom of comments. How's the fart tank going? I have to ask. Yeah, I haven't done anything with it. I've just been working on other things. So the fart tank is this, well, I call it the fart machine. It's a thing that takes the waste from, the plumbing system, and it goes into a tank, and then it produces methane, which can be then used to do methane-y kind of things, like run a cook stove or stuff, things like that. Right now, I'm trying to put lots of charcoal in my soil, though. So I'm just going with wood fires every time I cook. So I keep getting charcoal every time I cook or clean out the wood stove. So I haven't been thinking about any other cooking sources of heat because I'm using the wood for charcoal. So I want to keep doing that at least for a while. Do you fish at nighttime? I love cast netting in the dark. I have fished at nighttime. It's kind of hilarious if you're in a boat at night in the dark and you turn a light on, the fish start going crazy. I had a friend have a fish swim full speed right into his boat and knock itself out one time, and he just picked it up right out of the water. And it was because he had a light on. The fish were kind of going crazy, and one swam right toward it and just blam, knocked itself out right in his boat. How plentiful is gasoline there, or propane? How plentiful is gasoline there or propane? You can get gasoline or propane if you just go buy it. You can buy it at the store. There isn't any just like hanging around. Yeah, it says plentiful as your pockets are plentiful with dollars. Most people around here cook on propane and drive gasoline-powered boats. I just don't do either of those because I don't like to rely on fuels that I can't produce myself, if I can help it. All right, Mr. Landfill, any news on the girlfriend search? Well, so I mentioned this very briefly last week or the week before, but I met this girl who doesn't live close to here, and I would like her to, and she would like to as well. She says she really likes my lifestyle and all that, and we get along very well. And we've been talking for a few weeks, and I still like her, which is unusual for me. I don't know what that says about me as a jerk, but anyway, I do know this girl that I really like a lot. I'm not sure what's going to come of it. We'll see, but it's going pretty well so far. But she lives far away, and it's not the kind of situation where she could just drop her life and come here. So, yeah, but better. Yeah, it's pretty good. Hope the best for you. Well, thank you, Mr. Landfill. All right, I think we might be cutting this week short at an hour because I'm at the bottom of comments here, and I think I'm out of things to yammer on about. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, just things are going pretty well. It's the rainy season now, which means it's just smoking hot and no rain, which is funny. I don't know why people keep saying like the whole time I've been here, the rainy season and the dry season have made no sense because it is not lined up that way in my experience. But anyway, all right. I'm going to get out of here. Have you thought about building a pizza oven? Yes, definitely. I plan to build a pizza oven for sure. 100% for sure. Maybe I should do that while I'm waiting for the batteries. Although I've been playing with my lumber mill and I have this bunch of digging. Okay, there is another thing I can mention a little bit. There are some people coming to live here. People that I like very much, and I'm very excited that they're coming. And I want to get a guest house ready for them. So I need to progress the digging I'm doing a little faster, because part of the reason I'm doing this digging is to flatten out an area for a guest house. It's also to flatten out an area for, Frisbee and stuff. But I have to flatten out this area to build a guest house. And now that I have people who are going to come and stay in it, that's more of a high priority. I'm very excited about that. Oh, you mentioned an app. May I suggest having situations that categorize them into a group, much like the Ultima series? You mentioned an app. May I suggest having situations that categorize them into a group, much like the Ultima series? You're going to have to give me more information. I'm a little bit lost there. Have a good one, man. Peace. Diddler Ballet or Didier Ballet. Do you get phosphorescent plankton? Yes, actually, all around here. If you go swimming at night, the water lights up anywhere you move. It's really cool, actually. Driving in a boat at night is pretty neat too, because you leave a trail. Particularly with a pedal boat, it ends up leaving, like I have a catamaran pedal boat, so the two pontoons leave glowing lines behind, and then the paddle makes so it ends up looking like there's a glowing train track being left behind the boat. It is actually really neat. But yeah, the water totally glows around here. There is a drought in the tropics, just like everyone else. Yes, there is a drought in the tropics. It's not that bad though. I still have water. Got a spare shipping container to make into a house? No, I do not. Sourdough pizza with goat's milk cheese. That does sound pretty good. Use the bulldozer to flatten it. We love the dozer. Well, a bulldozer isn't really what I need right now, because I need the dirt to not just get pushed. I actually need to scoop it up and take it the other direction, then down this winding path. Not really bulldozer friendly, although I've been thinking about changing my bulldozer into another type of construction vehicle. When I built it, I needed a bulldozer, but now I need something else. And it's all bolted together, so I can dismantle it and modify it and stuff. Used to get that in Oman, was something special. The inky black and the glow. Oh, the glowing water. Yeah. Over now, Jaimie. All right. Watch your vids and makes me smile. Inspiration, buddy. Thank you. Well, thank you, Sam. I'm glad my videos are doing something good for you. That makes it totally worth doing. All right. I'm going to get out of here, and I hope everyone is having a good morning, evening, day, whatever. I try to take on board your messages. Whoa, thanks, man. That's great. Excellent. All right. I'm going to get out of here, and everyone else, have a wonderful day, evening, morning, whatever there is. Whatever you have, wherever you are. And just be an amazing person. Keep doing your best. All right. Over and out. All right, where's my button? There's my button. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes.